What's up everybody, Jarrett from Empire of Assets, and I wanted to do a little Sunday night update video for you guys. We did do the health bar for the Metazoo box when we get 500 subscribers. We were going to open that. I did a video, I believe 6 days ago on August 16th, and the response was incredible. So I wanted to do a new bar going into the rest of the week. And then wanted to kind of tell you guys a little bit about my life, the behind the scenes, stuff that I haven't really talked about, why I do this, why I have the channel, and that more kind of stuff. So probably not a super crazy exciting video, but if you're interested, stick around. But first, let's do the unveiling. So we had 237 subscribers left to go till 500 6 days ago, like I said, on the 16th. So I did update it, and we were able to get it down to 144 left to go. Unfortunately, my bars changed sizes, and my printer did finally print in yellow this time instead of last time it printed in green. Printers are kind of interesting creatures sometimes. So we were only 7 subs away from reaching 100 in 6 days. For a little bit of context, it took me 6 months to reach 200 subs, so reaching 100 in 6 days is absolutely incredible. Definitely a huge thank you to everybody that subscribed. I really appreciate it. And then I think that first 100 took 4 months almost, or 3 months, and then it was pretty much steady. So this has been incredible. I was really happy, and I do really appreciate everybody that subscribed, along with everybody that has reached out to me either in the comments or in my email that is in the description, just to chat about cards. I love talking about cards. That's part of the reason why I made this channel, which we'll get into here in just a second. But just wanted to say thank you. And if you haven't subscribed and you're watching this video, if you do click the subscribe button, first of all, it would mean a lot to me, but also it does take the Metazoo Booster Box health bar down by 1 notch. Only 144 to go. So if we keep it up at this pace, hopefully in about 2 weeks we should be able to open that, which is so much sooner than what I could have ever possibly hoped for. That would be right around September, which would be incredible. So again, thank you everybody. I appreciate it a ton, and let's keep going. All right guys, so for the next part of this video, I did want to transition into talking a little bit more about myself. This is stuff that I haven't really shared on the channel yet. We're 83 videos in, started the channel all the way back on February 24th. It has been quite a journey. I've learned a lot so far, especially putting out a video about once every 3 days is my average, once every 2.5. So I wanted to share a little bit with you guys to let you all get to know me a little bit, I guess, the person behind Empire of Assets, the small empire that we are, and what I do. So I am from a small town in Wisconsin. I went to high school in that same small town. I then went off to college. I am a graduate of UW-Madison. I got my finance degree from there. I went to the business school, finished that in 3 years. Then I graduated in the midst of 2020 in the spring, so May of 2020, kind of right a couple months after everything shut down. Job market was tough. It took about 6 months to find a job, but I did eventually find a job in the fall of 2020, so I've been at that coming up on a year, pretty close. I think I'm at 9 or 10 months, something like that right now. I do still work that job, so I work a 9 to 5 job, so all videos are shot after that, usually around 8 to 10 o'clock. I do live with my fiance, and she is a nurse. She's up very early, so usually she's in bed by about 7:30. Gives me a couple hours at night to shoot videos, which is normally when I am chatting with you guys. That's why I also like to do a Sunday morning video, because it is kind of a nice breakup and we get a little bit better lighting. But we do live in a apartment, basically. It's part of a duplex. We live in the basement, so when I joke about living in the basement, I'm actually not kidding. We do live in a basement, and we do get to stay here rent-free, which is very nice. We do take care of the lawn care, the maintenance, the snow removal, a lot of that stuff, helping out with the garbage and that kind of stuff. But we are very fortunate, and that allows me to stick a lot of my income into different forms of investment, whether it's stocks, which is the largest part of my portfolio, and then also collectibles. Cryptocurrency definitely opens you up. As a quick side note, I guess I would definitely recommend, if you went to college or if you're in high school, trying to stick it out with living with a family member. I know it's not an option for some people, and I totally understand, but if it is an option, it's definitely worth maybe sucking it up if it's not ideal, and living with family for is basically as long as you can. Obviously you don't want to be there forever, but even if you can get 2 or 3 years, even 1 year of saving that first money from your first real job, and then being able to put that money to work, it can really kind of set you on a springboard for basically the rest of your life. If you don't, instantly go rent a nice apartment, buy a new car, have all these debts, you can really launch yourself on a trajectory that kind of looks like this, and then maybe up at the end to kind of more of steep, and then you can kind of slow down as you get older, and not have to do so much because you did the work up front, is definitely kind of my theory about that. Anything else about me? We don't have no children, much too young for that, or I guess not too young, but no kids. We are looking at getting a dog, so if we do get a dog, it will definitely be in the videos. Very excited about that. But that's kind of my living situation. Like I said, do live a 9 to 5. Nothing too professional about the YouTube setup. I shoot all the videos on my iPhone 11 Pro, which they look pretty good for that. I do have a $20 ring light from Amazon that holds the camera when I'm shooting, and I believe this lapel microphone that I use was like $10, so super cheap. Obviously the iPhone's not super cheap, but most people have an iPhone. A pretty decent recording setup. I'm definitely looking to upgrade that, so hopefully in the future I'm going to rearrange the office here, move my desk, and then we are going to have a little different setup, because I do have lots of things planned for the future. But before we get to what's coming in the future, let's jump into my collecting journey. So my collecting journey, like most people, started when I was a kid. I collected sports cards, was a big fan of 2008, 2009 Topps football, was always a football guy, never into basketball or baseball, just football for me. And then I also had Pokemon cards. That is why I am so attached to the 2003, 2007 EX silver border cards. That is what I grew up with. That is my jam. And I think they are turning into be great investments. I've talked about that a ton. I'll talk about that more in the future. Not important for this video, but that's why I like those cards so much. So then if we fast forward, I got out of cards, sold off my Pokemon card collection. Definitely a kind of a regret, not a huge regret. But then we fast forward to 2019, late like November, December, and then January of 2020. I got back into it. Gary Vee. I know a lot of people hate on Gary Vee, but he's definitely what got me back into sports cards, and I am thankful for that. So I started with sports cards mostly up through kind of March, and then that time where I was graduating. And then over the summer, I did get into it pretty hard back in Pokemon. Back into that before the kind of crazy fall blow up with Logan Paul and the Charizard box. And then I also have kind of branched out since then, looked at a little bit of Flesh and Blood, looking to expand more into that, as I do think it has a very bright future. And then kind of the thing that really has helped the channel but also blew up my investment portfolio was getting into Metazoo early. I was basically a Kickstarter. I wasn't in the actual Kickstarter, but I did get a lot of Kickstarter product back in March 2021 of Metazoo. That definitely helped, and those videos are the ones that do the best on my channel. So I think going forward, that is probably will be what I am maybe known for best. I don't feel one way or the other about that too much. I like Metazoo. I think it's fine. Obviously, you can't put all your eggs in one basket in case the game, something did happen. But so Metazoo from the spring of this year, it is August as of this time, and I think that's kind of what I'm going to stick with. Pokemon, Flesh and Blood, and Metazoo will kind of continue to be my big three. So that's kind of my collecting journey, and then we will roll that into how I started the YouTube channel and why I started the YouTube channel. So the YouTube channel kind of happened by accident almost. I've always been big on having a side hustle, but I've never really found one that worked for me. In college, I ordered a bunch of fishing lures from China and tried to sell those on a website. Did not go very well. Thought about starting a lawn mowing company, which actually had the name Lawn Order Co., which I thought was really funny, like Law and Order, but it was Lawn Order. That never really took off. Thought about doing power washing business. I've thought about doing a ton of different stuff, and none of them really took off. However, as my kind of interest in cards grew, I was following Slab Stocks with their sports content. I started watching James from Z&G Emporium, and then kind of the final straw that broke the camel's back, I could say, is finding Rudy from Alpha Investments and seeing how he did very loose videos, just kind of sits down, gives his thoughts, super entertaining. I really like that style of video, and that's kind of what I've shot for thus far. I'm not saying that won't change in the future, but I kind of realized that maybe that side hustle that I was looking for was in cards. Obviously, just like anything else, it's not easy. Cards might actually be one of the harder ways to make money because it is so enjoyable for so many people that it's not like mowing lawns where most people don't want to do it. A lot of people like cards. They'd like to be a dealer. They'd like to invest. They'd like to do all that stuff. So the kind of advantage that I have taken in the whole card thing is just being patient. I am trying to flip stuff, but it is tough. I'm not really looking to be a dealer. I am just going to kind of be patient, buy things, and then wait a couple of years and then sell them. That's kind of my strong suit, is being able to keep sealed product, not have the urge to open it. I literally have zero urge to open product. When I actually see people opening product, I like cringe a little bit. Not that I don't think they should open product. I love that people open product, and I like watching people open product, but just the destruction of value, it just is not in my core to enjoy that. So that was kind of how this channel got started. Finally decided, hey, maybe I should quit worrying about all these other things and put my efforts into something that I really enjoy, which was cards, and I should start a YouTube channel. Like I said, it's super cheap to start, pretty easy. And then there's a lot of other reasons that I should talk about as well. With the side hustle thing, I've been interested in FIRE, or the Financially Independent Retired Early. I've been interested in that since probably high school. I always joked that my dream job was to be a stay-at-home dad, and I hope to actually achieve that someday. By the time that I want to have children, I'd like to be able to have enough income, side income from investments and other things, that I don't have to work. And then once I transition out of working, I hope to never have to work for anybody but myself ever again. That is definitely the dream at this point. And obviously the YouTube channel potentially could have the ability to help with some of that. Obviously, it's a long journey, about 6 months into this point, and we aren't even halfway to 1,000 subs, which, if you don't know, 1,000 subs is how many you have to get in order to be part of the YouTube affiliate program, or in order to start cashing checks. And then even once you do that, your checks are a couple of dollars a month. Nothing crazy, but it was something constructive to put my energies into, and who knows where it will go from here. Also, my fiance was tired of hearing me talk about cards. I don't have anybody else, no friends, no family that's really into the collectibles. So they listen to me talk about it, but nobody really enjoys it like I do. So I didn't want to bore them. I also wanted to connect with more people in the card community. So far, I have done that. I've gotten emails from people. I've texted people. I've sold stuff to people. Always looking to buy stuff from people. So that is good. It helps build a community. I also hope to kind of inspire other people on the financially independent early retirement path. I think a lot of people don't even think it's possible, and it is very possible if you are smart when you are in your late teens, early 20s, even early 30s. You can really set yourself up to retire at 40, which I think is just something that is so sad that people don't know that you can actually set yourself up to do that. It just seems really a tragedy to me of the whole, I guess, capitalist system, that people think you have to do this, where you work until you're 65, retire, and then live out your last couple of years not having to work. Capitalism is something that allows you to be able to put in effort up front, put in more effort, and then be rewarded by not having to work until you are old and can finally afford to retire. So it's something I feel really strongly about, and it is something that I hope other people can see as possible, even investing in things that you like cards and collectibles. So I will hopefully share more about that going forward, and you guys can kind of follow me on my journey. As far as my journey, it is a great way to just document everything. I will be able to look back on all these videos when I'm older and wiser, and think about how stupid I was, and what bad decisions I made, and maybe how hopeful I was, and how things didn't work out the way I wanted to, or maybe things will work out exactly the way I want them to. You never know, but it'll be fun to be able to look back on these videos, and maybe someday even show my kids these videos, or who knows, these videos. It'll be fun to look back on. And then lastly, I did just want to help new people to the hobby. When I was new to the hobby, I did get scammed for a pretty good chunk of money, and it feels absolutely awful. So if I could help anybody avoid that, only pay with PayPal goods and services if you do not know the person, regardless of the situation. only pay with PayPal goods and services. No friends and family ever unless you are physically with the person. And make sure you look at the cards, make sure they're not fake. Just be careful if it sounds too good to be true. I know everybody says this, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is, but you always want to hope, right? It's part of just human nature to be like, oh, I'm getting a really good deal. And sometimes you do get really good deals. I've gotten some crazy deals since I started in the hobby, but you just got to be really careful. So helping people that way. If I could keep even one person from getting scammed, it would basically make all of this worth it, because it is just such a terrible feeling. And I have absolutely zero zero love for any person that has ever scammed people in any industry. Just today I was trying to buy a Switch on Craigslist, and it was clearly a scam, and it didn't even seem that scammy until I reached out, and then the person was like, oh, due to COVID you have to pay ahead of time with friends and family only. And I was like, obviously this is a scam. But it's just really sad that there is people out there that do that, but they only do it because people fall for it. So like I said, if I can help even one person avoid a scam and then maybe help stop this cycle of scammers, it would make this all worth it. And then for the last part of the video, I just want to talk about my future plans for the channel, which I am really excited about. Ton of cool stuff coming. Obviously, as my collection grows, there will be more cooler stuff to talk about all the time, and maybe we can get some more crazy videos with cards that are worth insane amounts, which are the videos that get all the views, right? But first short-term goal is to open the booster box. Only 144 subs to go. Super pumped about that. Really excited. And then kind of going forward, just continuing to share new information as I found out about it, about Pokemon sets, Flesh and Blood sets, Metazoo sets, and then UFC. I do like covering the UFC products because they're different. Not too many people are putting out information on those. So kind of continuing to cover new information on those things, as well as just general knowledge about the hobby, how to submit cards to PSA, submitting cards to CGC, which I like better. Just things that there's so much to the hobby that new people don't know or don't even know to ask. They don't know what they don't know. So hopefully if some of them watch any of these videos, they can get just a better idea of things to dig into further, or my thoughts. Obviously, if anybody ever has any questions in the comments, I try to answer them to the very best of my ability, and I will continue to try and answer every single comment that people post until I physically can no longer answer all of the comments if we ever reach that time where there's too many. But I do really hope to continue always responding to the comments, continuing to tell you guys what I am investing in, and then just meeting new people, helping new people, meeting new to me people, making deals with people, helping people complete their collections or give them information on just general things like that. That is kind of the goal of the channel. And then finally, just to continue documenting my journey to the hopefully early retirement path and through building a empire of assets. Thanks guys for watching. I know this is a crazy long video and it's super boring, but if any of you stuck with it through to the end, I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed the video or if any of what I talked about sounded interesting. Again, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.